Hey-o.
Good morning. I'm sorry, we're late because I'm late. It was my fault.
I was not going to throw you under the bus, but you did it to yourself.
I know. I feel so bad. I hate being late, and yet it's part of my nature.
I almost jumped on and just started babbling, and I was like, you know what? We do say 9-ish, and it is 9:06, so...
Yeah. Not too bad, not too bad.
Not too shabby.
I got out of the shower at like 8:40, and I looked at the clock and thought, oh no, I should be there.
You made it. That's all that matters. All right, let me get set up here. Well, as I'm looking for the live, which I think I just found, did you participate in the shop hop that just ended?
Yes, I did.
Okay, so I feel it was the Northeast Florida shop hop. There were 8 or 9 stores. I should know that because we just talked about it for a week. Mm-hmm. A good amount of stores. It was an awesome, our experience was phenomenal. We loved it. We had a great time. We met a lot of new people. We saw a bunch of old people. Like it was a great shop hop for us. Mm-hmm. I didn't get to travel though. So how did you feel?
It was really fun. All of the shops were all the shops were excited about having people coming through.
Cool.
You know, and as with any shop hop, the shops just really deck themselves out and are ready for, they bring up all their best stuff and their most fun things. So
as ready as you can be.
As ready as you can be. Yeah, I'm not a shop owner, so I don't know what goes into that, but
you never
but it was fun.
I'm glad that you say it's fun. Everybody seemed to be in a good mood. Mm-hmm. And we were the first stop for a few people, but we weren't. Usually they either went south and then came up, or they were ending with us. Mm-hmm. So usually if the shop hop's a little bumpy, you hear about it. Mm-hmm. And I really, almost zero complaints.
Good.
With 600, 700 people or whatever, that's awesome.
Mm-hmm. That was awesome.
Because you always got somebody who you just, know.
And I loved, I think part of that motivation was the block that every shop gave out. I thought that was a great idea, and it encouraged people to go at all the shops. And it's like I wanted to make sure I didn't lose anything.
Yeah. Well, I love that you'll never be able to get the fabric again. It's where we live. Mm-hmm. It was just cool. I thought it was a great idea. So thanks for participating. If you did, just FYI, if you were not able to make it to the shops, you have until the 31st to pick up your blocks if you've paid. Good morning, Christy. Good morning, Sam, by the way. Good morning, Jan. So does that make sense? Mm-hmm. If you bought the passport and life happens and you couldn't make it, you have until the 31st, which I don't know what day that is, but to pick up your blocks. Now you can't be entered into the drawing because we're going to do that tomorrow.
Right.
I'm going to go to Cinnamon's and we're going to all do the drawing and pick us some winners and stuff. Mm-hmm. But you can still get your blocks. Now, if there are any blocks left over, because people just said, whatever, forget it, you can purchase a block from each shop for $3.50. And we do have some of these left over, by the way, which are not part of the passport. So if you didn't get the center block or you just want one of these because it's cool, we got them. $3.50. I think that's it, though. That's what I want to make sure that I said those dates. The 31st, come and get your passport or your block, and then buy one for $3.50.
Buy one for $3.50 if you can.
Yeah.
I'll have to remember that. Yeah, and on that note, segueing into our quilt show.
That's right. Okay, so Joann and I I talked about it a little bit when I was by myself.
Yes.
I attempted to talk about it. But so quilt show, I kept using the word competition and people kept going, no, stop it.
Yeah.
And I was like, but there's technically a winner. But you're right. I hate the word competition, even if you put the word friendly in front of it.
And yet he continues to use it.
I keep saying it. That's so true. Hey, Priscilla. So, okay. What do you see for this show, quilt show?
For the quilt show?
Yeah.
I just thought this was such a great idea to do these pictures of the area that we live in, and I thought it would be fun to, as an encouragement, to actually use these to have a show where we brought in, where everybody who made a quilt, made a bag, made a jacket,
a runner,
anything that you have made out of this fabric, bring it in. We'll have a show. We thought that it would be fun to have a viewer's choice winner, that if so that people could vote on what their favorite thing was.
Yeah.
But we're not really looking at it as a competition. Like if you're entering it in a show, there's not going to be any judging.
No judges. Yeah. Well, yeah. Right. Other than from your peers.
Yeah.
And just kind of friendly. If you're in the room, hopefully we can talk about it. And I want it to be. I like a little bit of competition just to inspire, maybe push you to do,
a little bit better job.
A little bit, yeah.
Yeah. I'm always so impressed when I go around to different guilds, when I see people who bring things into the shop, all the clever ideas that people have for using fabric. And I just thought it would be fun to show that off. And, and you don't have to be the best quilter in the world.
Absolutely.
Just enjoy the fact that your quilt got to be part of a show,
displayed and enjoyed by all. That's right.
That's right.
And so we don't have the dates. I don't think we decided on that, but it's the beginning of April.
The beginning of April.
So yes. we could just say like April 1st if that's on a Monday. I don't. We'll have to look at the calendar, but it will be the beginning of April. I think what we would do is hang them for a week. And then as people could come in, they could kind of vote on their favorite, which sounds like a competition.
Don't use that word.
I know. I say it because I'm joking. And the thing is, some people love the idea of a competition because I will definitely, the people that are voted for first, second, and third place, even though in quilt, well, there's quilt show winners, right?
There are.
There will be a prize, just FYI. So,
yes.
I just put her on the spot like 2 seconds before we hit go.
Because I was late.
Fair. We had originally said we were just going to do from this, blocks from this shop hop. Since we're going to do this the beginning of April, this shop hop, which we're about to get into, will have been going for a month. So I proposed, what if it's a Florida themed show?
I think it's a great idea.
Okay.
I think that would be really fun. I just wanted to share an experience I had like many, many years ago. One of the shops in the area I was living in, it was the time when all the red and white quilts were so popular. And this one shop decided that they were going to do a show in their shop of red and white quilts. And everybody who had a red and white quilt or were making a red and white quilt came in and displayed it. It was so much fun. The shop owner made it a really neat day, and it was fun to have my picture taken in front of my quilt in a show.
That's cool.
And even though it was a small show and it wasn't a big thing, it was kind of my introduction to putting a quilt in a show.
That's awesome. And I've seen people who do phenomenal work who are terrified to put it on display for others to see. I've asked people, hey, can I hang that in the shop? Whether it's for a sample or just because it's pretty, and they're like, no.
Yeah, they don't want anybody looking that close.
Don't tear it apart, and that's not what it's about at all. And I've been joking saying the word competition. It's not at all. It is
absolutely.
Yeah.
And I think that people who judge, especially in a situation like this, who look at something and say, "Oh, the quilting is really bad," or "Look at the tension
they
here."
Do this. They do this move.
Yeah, and those are people that you need not to be your friend.
That's right. Encouragement. That's right.
Yeah, because it's just an encouraging thing and an opportunity to really see some interesting things that your neighbors are doing.
Yeah, I love that. Okay, hold on. There was a bunch of people. Good morning, Joan, Priscilla, Cheryl, AJ. What's up, my dude? He said he is waving from 95. Stop texting and driving first and foremost. Hey, buddy. Maria said April 1st is a Saturday, so that would work. Okay, so April 1st. Good morning, Marilyn. Good morning, Linda. Good morning, Kay. And good morning, Patricia.
All right.
I have to say good morning to everybody. I want to make sure you see that we see you. That's important to me. Okay, so Florida themed, but we are encouraging you to use either the blocks from this or the fabric
from the
this.
Are you going to show the magazine?
I guess is another perfect segue. Look at this. It's like we planned it, right? I've got my notes and we're not even going in order, but that's how we're getting good at this. All right, so all Florida shop hop. I'm sure everybody has, if you're on Facebook at all, or if you've been into any quilt shop in the past month probably, you've heard people talking about this. So, hey, Rainbows Inn, speaking of cool quilt shops. So all Florida shop hop, it's official. We have the magazines. This is the passport.
Right. If you go to the centerfold, the passport is right there.
So this is your passport, but it's more than that. This is an awesome magazine. 60 shops. There's a lot to go over in this, so I'm not gonna read the magazine to you. You have to come and get it.
Yeah, because it's too much fun to sit there and go through it. It has all kinds of stuff. Just come get one and you'll have fun.
There's designs, there's patterns. I don't remember how many, but I think there's 7. At least, how many? 7 patterns. It says it humongous number right there on the front. Thanks, Joann. Keeping me in line. So the magazines are here, the passports are here, and you can come into the shop and get them. If you have any issues, give us a call. We can help you over the phone as well. The fabric has been here, but we weren't allowed to sell it. Really, we weren't supposed to be showing it, I didn't think. But now I see that people have had like samples done for weeks. So we're behind the ball on the sample, but we're working on it. We do have the panel, which is right here, and we have all of the complimentary, but we have the whole collection. And you can pre-order it starting today. So give us a call if you would like to pre-order any of the fabric. Feel free to come in and see us. I know we don't have a sample yet. A lot of shops are doing kits. We're on the fence with the kits. We're not sure if we want to do the whole kit thing because this is pretty wild fabric. Yes. It's very Florida.
There's even one here that I will never buy, and it has alligators on it. So if you happen to be into alligators, they're here.
Yeah, I don't know if the camera can do it justice, but it's gators with cameras. That you're not. That's that's what it is.
I got it.
And I would never. You're right. I would never order this if it didn't come with all of this. Mm-hmm. And honestly, it's super Florida in a wonderfully cheesy way.
Yeah, and just remember, if you want to stop and take a picture of an alligator, they can run at 35 miles an hour. So stay as far away as you need to make sure you can get away from an alligator running 35 miles per hour.
Just do it from inside the car, or don't. Yeah, go to the zoo. Good morning, Diana. Good morning, Gaoshan. Okay, so I don't know if the camera, should we show you guys? You've probably seen it all over the internet, and it's here in this shop. You can call us and purchase, pre-order any of this fabric, the panels, today. We open at 10. So if you have questions on that, please call. What I thought about doing, I think I'm going to do this. So for a giveaway, because you know every single Quilt Talk episode, which, by the way, do you know what number this is?
9.
8, I think.
Oh.
I think it's 8. I put 8.
No, it's at least 9.
No way. Well, we'll see. I put on 8, but that doesn't mean anything. So
the person who can call in and tell us exactly which number it is.
Well, no, that would have been good, though. All right. So, no, what I'm going to do is the first person to pre-order a panel, I'm going to give you the passport. I'm going to give you the book. So we open at 10. I know you can't, you can comment sold or whatever you'd like, but you actually have to call us at 10 or come in at 10. And the first person to purchase or pre-order a panel, I'll give you the passport.
Okay.
How's that work?
Sounds good.
All right.
I think that's a deal.
It is a deal. You're getting a sweet deal. Plus, the magazine, look, 60 shops, everybody goes, oh my gosh, there's a shop in Key West. I can't make it to Key West.
So I'm not going to Key West.
Yeah, well, that's a free shop, but it's broken into sections. So once you get the magazine, you can see, like, there's the Northeast section and it's broken up to where you don't have to go to all 60 shops. Mm-hmm. Now, I know a handful of you will, because you're cuckoo, and that's awesome. Good for you. but you don't technically have to.
Yeah.
In order to complete the section. It's actually up front in the magazine. There's a little map and it's got it all pinned out.
That's what I was looking for.
Let's see. Good morning, Mary Lee.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Good morning, Leslie.
So there's
morning,
6
Debbie.
different sections. So that gives you, it makes it a little bit more manageable.
Yeah.
To be able to do
all the pens, and then way down here is the Key West, and you can see in the magazine it says free shop or free stop. That doesn't mean everything at the shop is free. It just means you don't have to go there in order to get the
I see
to
what
complete
you mean.
your
Okay. So
because you know if you finish a passport in most, I think all shop hops, you have the chance to win. You know, so in order to complete your
that section
or
the whole thing, if you're really wanting to do the whole thing, and Key West is just not where you're going to go, then you don't have to.
Yeah, or look at it as an excuse to go to Key West. Why not, right? Go for it. So I'm excited about the All Florida Shop Hop. It starts March 1st, goes till April 30th. But you can pre-order now, and the first person to get the panel gets the passport.
Awesome.
Okay, what else is on my notes? Am I missing anybody here? Good morning, Debbie. Mary Lee said good morning. All right, fantastic. Daytona Quilt Show. God, there's a lot going on.
Yes, there is.
2023 has been rocking. It's been so much fun, but woof. Okay, so
we're not even through the first month.
I know. So before we do this, in February, the 22nd through the 25th is the AQS Daytona Quilt Show, which I'm so stoked about. We did it last year and it was awesome. We're doing it again, but way bigger this year. So I think tickets are on. Do you know? Have you looked?
I know they're online.
You can already get them, right?
You can.
You should
Yes,
be, yeah.
Absolutely.
And I don't remember the pricing, $14 or $15, something like that. But it's a great show. The vendors are. There's a lot of vendors. I'm really excited about this show. It was good last year, but people said that it was smaller, maybe than the years past. Well, I think they've got way more signups this year as far as vendors go.
Yeah, that's good. I know that a lot of the shows have been considerably smaller since COVID, and frustratingly so, because you always go to a show to get things that you can't normally get because
show pricing and show specials, and everybody's in one place.
That's right.
Yeah.
And it's just it's a great opportunity, and to get things you want, and to also be inspired by all the quilts that are there, and so as the shows kind of get bigger and go back to their normal size, it's very exciting.
Yeah, boy, I tell you, the art quilts that I saw, I love, all the quilts were gorgeous, but I love the art. I love the art. I'm drawn towards the art quilts, but were phenomenal last year.
They were.
I mean, I was kind of blown away. I've seen some really good stuff, and I've done plenty of quilt shows, but wow, I was.
There were some amazing
impressed.
Yeah, and I think one of the things that people say is that, especially younger quilters or newer quilters, I should say, they say, "Oh, the quilts are all too hard for me to make. I could never make anything like that." But that's not the point. The point is to really appreciate, like an art quilt. I'll probably never make a real art quilt, but I love looking at them. They are just amazing, and to see what people have done. And a lot of times you can see a quilt and glean just a little bit that you might be able to use. Like I know that one of the winners last year had a border in it that I thought, oh, wow, that's a really cool border. And I used that border in a quilt that I made. I use that as part of, I use cool. that idea. So you don't have to be able to make that whole quilt. You're just looking for bits and pieces of inspiration.
100%. And I saw one that had, I don't even know, teeny tiny squares, and it was the woman's face, and it was it was the one that everybody took a picture of, and it was stunning. But if you look up close, I'm like, oh, they thread painted or actually
that was an
used
amazing
thread
quilt.
to draw in the eyes, and I'm going, okay, I would never do those squares because forget it. That's just too tedious for me. But I got, you can add a little bit of paint here, and then that mixed media, I was like, oh, okay, so it's kind of sky's the limit.
Yeah,
that got my brain working, So
exactly, and
inspiration.
That's what you're looking for.
Yeah, absolutely.
Or just inspiration, or just appreciation.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm excited for the show. Yeah, I don't think there's anything else I need to talk about that.
Okay. Sounds good.
Okay, so our quilt show, check.
Mm-hmm.
Quilt show, you see that? I did it, nailed it.
Good job. Good job.
Check.
Encourage Josh.
All Florida Shop Hop fabric on sale today. Check. First person to call in or come in and purchase a panel gets the passport for free. Check. What else we got on our list? Anything? Good. Time for tips and tricks.
I am so excited about this. And I happened to be watching something that was talking about how to use your batting scraps. Well, you know, anybody who does any kind of quilting has batting scraps, and they're accumulating, and just, you know, they're like, I think they reproduce during the night. I just seem to have a lot of them. But but I found this thing that was talking about different things that you can do with your batting scraps, and I thought, what a great thing to talk about, because they can be cumbersome. So one of my favorite things, and I've been doing this for a long time, I don't know how many of you are familiar with Lori Holtz and her little boards that she sells for a pretty penny, and they're like little squares like this, and you can get, there's a variety of different sizes, and they usually have a cute little binding around the outside, so that, and they're for putting projects on or working on projects. Well, you can make your very own and not spend $20 or so on one from Lori Holt. So you just take a piece of foam core board that you can get at Michael's or Joann's or Target or whatever, and I use some of that spray glue and glue a piece of batting on it, and gives you a nice little board to put to work to do your piecing on, or not to do your piecing, but to lay your pieces out and keep them in order. I love these little boards. I have several.
Portable design wall.
Little portable design wall, exactly.
That's
and
cool.
And you can use, I use foam core, but I have a friend who just used, she would cut up cardboard boxes, spray it with glue, and put the batting on top, and she had a ton of them. So something you can do really inexpensively and quickly, and you don't have to mail away for it. Some of the things I found out about batting, Josh sells one of the batting that I think is the best. He sells the Quilter's Dream batting. But one of the things that this particular person says that you should really, for your own personal use, decide on a batting that you really like and stick to that, so that when you have leftovers, you don't have a whole bunch of different kinds that you can't figure out what they are anymore. You have one kind of batting. And so I use now and have always used the Quilter's Dream, and I like their cotton, and I also like their 80/20. And so because I use a couple of different kinds, they also have a bamboo, which is a mixture of bamboo and silk, which is absolutely beautiful.
I've had a few people start asking for the bamboo, so I might carry a little bit. It's not a lot of people requesting it.
It's not a lot of people, but it has a beautiful drape. It has a beautiful warmth to it. It's easy to work with. It gives you a little bit more texture. A lot of times that cotton, when you quilt it, the quilting lays pretty flat. With the 80/20 and with the bamboo, you get some texture to that, and it brings out that quilting a little bit more, and which can be appreciated, especially if you're doing your own. So
I like it sometimes when it's puffy.
Yes,
you know, it adds that effect to it.
Exactly, and just a little bit, just enough to make it interesting and not overwhelming. So I always take my batting scraps. I try and keep this label, and I put them back in the bag they came in, and label how big they are, and that's what I do with my bigger ones. And I tuck them aside.
That's very organized.
But yeah, right.
By the way, Cheryl, I did see your question. I didn't want you to jump off. It says are the Florida fabrics on your website available to order? I don't think they're on the website yet. I need to find out for sure if there's any rules or any reason why I wouldn't be able to put them on the website. I also wanted to give people who shop in the shop first dibs, if that's fair. So you could call us and we can take care of you over the phone, no problem. I've been trying to hold off a little bit on the website orders just yet. So hopefully that answers your question. So I guess no, not yet, but maybe soon.
But maybe soon.
Yeah.
Okay. So now some of the things that you might be able to, oh, this is another thing. I put them in little baggies. Anything that I don't know what it is, I just put it all in one pile and use it for other things. Miscellaneous stuff. One of the things you can do, and I love this idea because you can cut up your scraps into little tiny bits, and then you can use it for stuffing. Like if you make stuffed animals or stuffed whatever, you can use this, which I love that idea because I hate buying those bags of polyester stuffing and then I have to figure out what to do with them, and I hate that. So I was really excited about this.
By the way, if anybody has bags of that and you don't know what to do with it, we do memory bears, so send them on in.
Send them in.
Yeah, please donate them to us because hospice would appreciate that. Yeah.
Good idea. Another thing you can do is you can cut up your batting, and this is something you should do especially for those unknown pieces. You can cut it up into the size that those Swiffer pads are, and use it on your Swiffer for dusting the floors and stuff like that.
Tony says pet beds. Yeah, good call, Tony. Good morning, Tony, by the way. Good morning, Dee.
You can also, most of you are already familiar with the term of Franken batting, and that's where you take several pieces of batting and sew it together, and that's actually not a bad way to go. And unless you're doing an heirloom quilt, and I don't even know why I wouldn't use it for an heirloom quilt, but you might want to not do it on an heirloom quilt, but you can use it for batting on any quilt that you're making.
You mean like piecing batting?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. You piece your batting. And so what you do is you would take 2 pieces of batting like this. Oh, this is one long piece. So this is one long piece that I will take and cut in half and sew it together and make it into a baby quilt batting, and it'll work perfectly for that. But
question, and I don't know if I'm jumping ahead here, but were you going to get into how you put them together?
Yes.
Okay.
Right now.
Then I will I will hold my question till the end.
Okay. So one of the things to put them together, you'll take 2 pieces of batting, and a lot of times the edges are not straight. They're kind of crooked and messy. And so what you can do is take them, put them together so that one is laying on top of the other. So maybe you have an inch or so. Exactly. Great word. It's overlapping. And then you take your rotary cutter, and you can use a ruler if you want, or you don't have to. And you're just going to cut along your batting so that it's cutting through both pieces of batting. And then you take out what you've cut, sew them together with a zigzag stitch right along the edge. The foot that I love to use for that is the stitch in the ditch foot. And I just use, I run the, I run the straight edges.
A little guide
right down the center, and it makes it a perfect zigzag right over the seam line there, and it's perfect for using. And
interesting. Okay, cool. So my question, actually, that's awesome. I know that there is a serger stitch, and it's a really strange serger stitch, and I learned it once, but most people don't want to either thread their serger that way because it makes a really nice stitch to combine the fabric. Yeah, it's phenomenal, and shame on me for not knowing it. But the other question, my main question, was the tape.
Yes.
What's your opinion on the
tape? I use the tape. I don't use it in this case because what I find is that for me, when I've used it, the tape kind of, it doesn't always stick. And so it's, I can be fussing around with it while I'm working with it. But, and that's my experience only. And other people may have another experience. I do use it. Let's say I'm quilting a quilt and I get to the end of the batting, but I haven't gotten to the end of the quilt. I'll just take a piece of tape and tape the two pieces together, and it works perfectly.
Well, Tony, I don't know if you asked that question before I did or not, but great minds, right? So she said, do you carry the batting tape? Yes, we do. Actually, I think I just sold my last one, but we have more on order. We have quite a few people that order that and buy it here, and I've never used it, so that was why I was asking you. And then it's a fusible. You can iron 2 pieces of batting together. Right. So the idea is that it is fusible tape that you can essentially attach the the pieces together.
Yeah, and I've actually thought about one day I needed some and I didn't have any and it was Sunday. So I took a piece of fusible interfacing, lightweight fusible interfacing, cut it in a strip and put it there, put it along the edge.
Got to do what you got to do.
Yes, that's right, and it worked. I did read one thing that said that they wouldn't do heirloom quilts with that, but other than that, they would use it for anything.
Okay. Good morning, Sharon, and it works great in a pinch, Tony. Yeah, you're right. Awesome. Okay, cool.
So another thing you can do is you can cut them into little 2.5-inch squares, and you know those little makeup pads you have in your bathroom?
Oh, yeah.
You can use it for that, too. Obviously, you can use them for...
Wait, really? Are you being comical?
No, I'm not.
Okay.
You know, any way to save money so you have more money to spend on fabric.
There you go.
You can...
That's the reasoning. So
That's right.
all you guys who are talking about like, oh, you know, you can buy that at the Dollar Tree, it's because you want to come here and buy good fabric.
That's
I
right.
get it. I will stop. Okay, cool.
So
no more judging.
Obviously, you can use it for dusting. And the other thing that I thought was really neat that I actually tried this morning, and I love it, whenever I'm sewing and I clip a thread, I tend to take the thread and drop it on the floor. And I know that's really messy, but that is who I am. But one of the things you can do is take a piece of batting and put it over your shoulder, much like you would a burp cloth for a baby. And then when you cut that little piece of thread, you just wipe it on there. And I was doing that this morning. It was so perfect. I just thought, oh, I love this.
Isn't that something? Why don't you just make a shirt out of batting?
There you go.
A batting shirt.
A batting shirt.
We got to go on Shark Tank. Patent in the works. Nobody steal that.
And
copyright.
That's right. And then, of course, using some batting for making little batting, making quilt sandwiches, so that if you want to practice free motion quilting, you have that already sitting by the side of your sewing machine. So if you don't have anything to do and you want something to do but nothing really taxing, you can use that. You can also cut them into squares. People who do the quilt as you go, you can have them all cut into squares and ready to go. And so there's a ton of things you can do with these. And I was really encouraged because I organized all my things.
Yeah, big takeaway. Don't just throw away your scraps. Well, A, if you don't want to do any of this, bring them to us so we can use them for memory bears. But B, this is awesome.
Yeah.
You really put some thought. Well, you've been doing this a little while, so I'm glad that do you actually do this?
Do what?
On a regular basis, like keep and save all your are you good about this, or did you
oh no.
Did you just do this is that why you're late? Because you're
This was all ready to go. That wasn't why I was late.
And I've seen your sewing room. It's actually not bad at all. I mean, it's for someone who has a long arm and that much going on, it's very organized. But I know people are always talk about like, oh, I'd love it if I kept all my da-da-da-da. Very few people actually do it, I feel. So that's what I was asking. Do you actually
and
save
as a
your
matter
batting?
I do. And as a matter of fact, I recently had a friend come visit, and she brought a bunch of quilts to quilt while she was here. And so that she didn't have to use all of my batting, she took all of my scraps, of which I have a tub like this full of the bigger pieces. She took them all and made them into the batting for her quilts.
That's awesome.
So I managed to get rid of a lot of it then.
That's awesome.
I will admit.
Good morning. I wasn't sure if you guys are open or not.
We are. We're doing a live. You want to come join us? No, I'm joking.
Well, hi.
Good morning, Tatiana.
Good to see you all.
We're doing our quilt talk. I think we're about done anyway. But
Yes, we are.
This is Tatiana.
Hi.
Be looking for embroidery classes. We'll put her on the spot on another episode so we can get her in here and talk about that. By the way.
Oh, absolutely. I'm in. Thank you.
I love this.
The batting.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think Tony was jumping in. Thank you, John. Great info and tips. I love the batting burp cloth. Yeah. Tony, and you do a lot of sewing, a lot of projects, so it's good to hear that it's got your seal of approval.
Yeah, thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Yeah, that's awesome. Okay, I think that honestly, let me look at my list here. I think that's everything. I wanted to make sure we talked about the shop hop. These are on sale now, so call us, come in. I'll find out about the website rules and regulations, but I like giving the people who come into the shop the first shot. Now, if you don't live in Palm Coast and you can't come in, call me. No problem. I'll meet you in the middle.
Okay.
Daytona Quilt Show, all the batting tips. Thank you for that. And our
Be
quilt
waiting-
show.
That's right. And be waiting for that
Quilt
call
show.
that saying that you are the winner of the prize.
I go to Cinnamon's tomorrow morning, and I don't know exactly when the drawing is, but I know I'm going to go there at 10 or at 9, meet with all the shop owners, and we're going to pull some names.
All right.
Hopefully I can talk. If they don't plan on going live, I'll just go live. I think as long as they don't have a problem with it, I don't see why they would. So we'll make sure you guys know if you want or not. That's
Yeah.
for sure.
Well,
Awesome. Well, we went a little bit long today, but hey, I loved it. I thought this was a lot of good information. I'm so excited about all this stuff. So I feel good.
okay.
All right.
Well, then we must be done.
We must be done. All right. We'll see you guys next week. Tell your friends. Jump on. Thank you for everybody that was actually interacting with us. I love that. And we'll see you Monday
See you next week.
for episode number, she says 10, I say 9.
9 or 10.
We'll
Doesn't
see.
matter.
Thanks for the info. For those of us out of the state, I'll call the shop. Beautiful, Cheryl. We'll take care of you. You guys have an awesome day. Bye.
Bye.